Okay, thank you for the many, I think 30 questions by email. I hate typing by the way, but I sent them back to you, and I think I'll try and answer the first one. I haven't got much time. I got to get going here, but hopefully I can send you the link on Messenger or by email maybe when you probably contact me. Okay, so I'm not sure what kind of book you're writing, but let's go to the first question. And it was what motivated me. I think was mostly I've always been interested in vintage electronics, vintage machinery, vintage basically everything. I'm an avid collector. Had a massive collection of things back like ever since I even in the crazy house. Westlawn. I had a gun collection and a radio collection right next to my bed on A2 Ward in Westlawn Building. Okay, I think I wrote that up in my internet and movie database stuff. Anyway, but always been that way. Now with the Hutcherson Effect stuff, I got involved, interested in Marconi and Tesla and Steinmetz, and decided to build what they built a long time ago. And I was lucky to find vintage wires and parts and things all over the place in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. It was very easy going, and I never set out to prove anything. I didn't want to prove anything or ever invent anything. I'm not a scientist, not an inventor, far from it. However, when doing this, effects did happen, and I kind of thought it was some of the unique features of the old stuff, sparks and electrostatics and magnetic fields and other things. So the only thing that why I kept on with it was because information leaked out, or somebody saw something, went to the news story people. Ernest Winfield, who came to my place and filmed stuff as well, urged me to keep doing it because it's very important, blah, 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 blah. And I just, whatever it is, crazy people. I thought that they were crazy back then. And then he mentioned to somebody, Alex Pizarro, who then mentioned to George Hathaway. And then that slowly got going into me giving these demonstrations, which everybody likes me doing for some reason. So that led to Hathaway analyzing some of the metal samples way back in the 80s and that kind of thing. Then the RAND Corporation came up, SAIC came up, and that led to U.S. Army Intelligence Security Command people in Los Alamos and Navy labs coming and doing a full months of demonstrations. Now that was touch and go, and I was kind of excited to do it, of course. And I'd be sidelining myself with other vintage things like vintage pistols, vintage machinery, with vintage lathes and other things like that. So I kept on and on. I just took some methylene blue, so I got a deep blue tongue. I meant a life extension, by the way. I've been doing that forever. So I kind of shocked some doctors at a hospital in Oregon about my condition and skin color, and they all thought that was immaculate condition, veins and everything's all blah, whatever. Okay, so anyway, I kept on, and I was in the media in the 1978, 1970 and 70. Oh, I always been in the media. What the hell? What does it matter anyway? So anyway, Alan Edwards did a story, filmed everything, levitation, and chunks of metal reforming itself. That was way back in '85, I think. So, Deputy Prime Minister Eric Nielsen of Canada got involved. Dr. Lauren A. Kuhn, Dr. Wilson, Dr. What's his name? Anyway, a number of physicians, not physicians, but physicists that came and observed my effects. Dr. Loken, sorry, Dr. Colonel Timothy Deere, Colonel Larson, All these people were involved for a short time in '86, March 24 demonstrations. And they wrote reports up, and I got some of the reports, but on every incident with governments, it was the videos were classified or something like that, or you need this and that. Anyway, so on I went with the demos for Fox TV and CNN and Discovery, Science Channel, blah 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 blah. And I enjoyed it. It was fun, and it gave me good money, chunk of, $1,000 for a day's work. What the hell? I'm not complaining. That's fun. I enjoyed it. I'm a bit of a show off anyway, so like I'm doing now, I'm showing off. Always been a clown, but anyway. The last being with Maine media was with Jesse Ventura, an ex-governor of Minnesota, came and filmed. I saw some stuff, and then last being Richard Surratt of CoastToCoastAM.com, 2017, came with his film crew, and then got us on Coast to Coast, and we talked about things. And anyway, so my inspiration is interest in learning things. Okay, learning how they work, vintage stuff, because vintage stuff is built really well. I'm not into computers, I'm not into plastics and that kind of thing. I enjoy going to scrapyards or going to contacting Mr. Alec in Greece and getting stuff. I spent, I'm jumping all over the place. I'm rushed. Anyway, so in Germany, I spent over 2 years there, in Austria and Germany, with Dr. Peter Kokoschnik, who was a physicist and understood what I was doing and that, and we hung out together, and with Dr. Margarita and with a girlfriend, Yin Gazda, international filmmaker. And there's all kinds of things going on. There were court cases involved when I left Germany because I was going to ship the lab to Germany. The container broke. Something happened, and lawyers but the lab was never confiscated. Never, and any time it was confiscated, I was ordered in 2007 or 2008 to not do those experiments because it affected other people's property and affected them. You can ask Tom Sky. He filmed it. He had to go to the hospital after for some reason. So I understand that. The mayor was very cooperative. He ordered me to stop doing it, as well as fire marshal and the RCMP, and then they wanted me to actually get rid of everything. But I had a lawyer friend, Al Beebe, who said, no, we're not going to comply. We're going to make a pathway to the Balkan. That's it. Which we did do, and everybody was happy at the end. And eventually in 2008, 2009, Jesus Christ. How many TV shows have I done? I got married 2007 to Lena in Scottsdale, which is my mistake. But anyway, I got married again to Nancy Hutchison. And we went to the Gulf of Mexico, cleaned the Gulf of Mexico with the Hutchison effect. Some of the Hutchison effect apparatus is all documented by scientists. The reports are written. It's on my SlideShare, Don K. Hutchison SlideShare. All those reports are there. The Hutchison files are there. Blah, 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 blah. Anyway, in Germany, I also had the Max Planck Institute look at stuff. They analyzed stuff and wrote it up in Esquire magazine, 4-page article with Roland Brito and Bernard Brito, who unfortunately was murdered a couple of years ago in South Africa, and his daughter was murdered with him. Some criminal was after his special guitars and all that stuff. Horrible stuff going on there. So Bernard and I were in contact on Facebook, Messenger, and no contact, and then found out he got murdered. I mean, anyway, I don't know what happened to Roland. Last contact with him was 2006. Then he vanished. But he instigated a lot of interest and got publications done, and it's all kinds of videos, papers and stuff. Dr. Almond at Berlin University, I don't know if he's still alive. I mean, I got all this, tons of this stuff. It accumulates, it's like a snowball effect. But anyway, whatever good it is, I don't know. Then I met Ken Shoulders, who recognized what I was doing and promoted to Prince Hans Adam Liechtenstein. as well as Ken was very interested in what he's doing, and we hung out together. Unfortunately, he passed away, along with Henry Dakin, who passed away as well. George Jack Houck passed away, who filmed for a couple of days. German physicist filmed in 2007. It was Dr. Ludwig who filmed 14 days. No, I mean not steady, just a couple hours a day, every other day, and I got all his videos and they're uploaded, and so on it goes. Many characters I met: Dr. Elizabeth Rocher, Dr. William Tiller. It's an endless list. So I'm not a scientist. For some reason, people were interested in this thing, or still are, I guess, for reasons beyond my comprehension. Because levitation and metals, you can do that probably at Los Alamos now. I mean, science has come a long ways, and it has been replicated by Stern by yet another scientist at York University. But I'm right now. I'm in the process of doing vintage again, and I'm keeping certain people in the military and no names briefed on it because why not? You know. Anyway, because I had problems with the Yugoslavian embassy years ago, and Canadian Security Intelligence Observers got involved, just checking why they were interested in me. And there's Bob Garuski, CSIS agent, who paid my plane fare back. Wow, this is going on and on. Sorry, but as I said, fame. I don't know if that's good or bad. I just like being an idiot on TV shows, doing my demos. It pays well, it's fun, and get a slap in the face or a pat in the back sometimes. I don't know. I don't know. Oh, don't I look bluish? So anyway, so my future is demos again, and with appropriate people. My ideal situation for all those who believed in me and trusted me and that and helped out is to have them bring their own metal samples and just turn a switch on and something happens, either levitates or melts. I don't know if that's going to be feasible or not. Other interest in this area of that kind of thing is time dilation effects. Time dilation effects, and also connecting to entities that I connected to a long time ago with as well, seems to be around, and it seems to be this veil where you gotta somehow get through and look on the other side of things. There's something out there. I mean, really wild. I've seen it. So in that special time, multicolored lights coming through, entities inside of it. Looked like they were marching or something. I don't know. But this happened a number of times. We had a building vanish, and I was with Alexander Sharashevsky, who I'm in communication now, to get some parts from him of the old lab. And Alex is in Vancouver, and he mentioned I should contact Randy, who has some parts from the old lab setup. So I said, okay, Alex, let's do it. We'll pay him for time and shipping and all that. So anyway, that being said, I should get going because it's probably getting later. I went on quite a tangent here, but I was working on sitting in the sun for 3 hours, steady, straight. Then got onto my balloon to balance my antennas, and I videotaped certain stations I got today, which I download on the internet. Clarity to clean up the noise levels that were pretty high, and that reduced them to almost zero. So I got excellent communication in China, VLF stuff, other ham operators and radio stations and Russian stuff and that. So I'm going to download it tonight. I'm using an R390 URR along with a vector scope, which is positioning and finding the location of the signal along with a audio amp. And I have maybe in R390s, I maybe have close to 20 of them, different styles, of course, but I have many receivers that are very hypersensitive and from the 50s, current use types, R1015s, very old RAK7s, regeneration type receivers which work just as good as anything else, and lots of those, plus many other things, and just go on and on and on. So this is, I dress like this because I enjoy it. I feel good with myself, comfortable. I kind of deep sixed the guy with the beanie cap and his jean jacket years ago. I'm more comfortable this way. I'm more relaxed. I don't dress this way when I'm doing business with scrap dealers or people with guns or other crazy things I like doing. I put on my HMCS Columbia t-shirt and a set of pants. But this way, I'm in the summer. I enjoy it. I'm hypersexual. I'm in, as I said, I was in life extension. So this is, for me, is I like this, and I feel good with it. So when feeling good, that's good. I'd be a false person because I'm looking back at some of the old TV shows now. I look really goofy. Come on, man. So this is fine for me. You can either laugh at me, throw a pie in my face, bend over, kiss my ass, or do other things. Anyway, I hope you enjoy this stupid video. I mean, I like doing ridiculous, useless videos. It's my, I guess my psychologist. How do you call it? I don't know. I have to look up psychology. I'm into psychology, by the way, and I can understand people pretty much. And I understand people these days are stressed out, don't tell the truth anymore. A lot of them don't. Make up bullshit stories. Are stressed maxed out. A lot of good people trying to survive in this mess. I don't trust the news. I think it's all bullshit, and I don't know. I know there's a war going, but I don't know who's involved in it. I know Russia and Ukraine. They say that, but I don't know the real truth. And a friend of mine, Steven Seagal, is actually in Russia with Putin. I met Steven on Mandeville Canyon Road at his home, Kelly LeBrock's old house, and we got along fine. I was with his good friend Chris Abdallah, who and I hung out together in LA and spent days joking and laughing our heads off, which I uploaded some of the videos. I videotaped everything, uploaded Chris and I, and Steven and everybody else on the internet. Nobody paid attention to it, but I filmed it off of black and white TV. I got all these videos, at least 300 of them or something like that, and they're all got effects that nobody's ever seen, energy stuff nobody's ever seen, interviews nobody's ever seen. Steven Seagal and Chris and I in LA and Yin and others and Paris Hilton and many other people. Nobody's ever seen it. So I was playing these tapes one day and got the little black and white TV and filmed it with iPad and uploaded it to my YouTube channel. Somewhere in there, it's there. So, yeah, so media stuff, I understand that media stuff and politicians brainwash people into thinking that, they're trying to make people think in different ways, and I don't believe any of them. I think they're all insane and have motives. So, because the media is all, pharmaceutical companies, drug companies, agendas and all that want the media to report in a certain way, so it fits into psychologically manipulating the population of different countries and that. So, yeah, that's the problem. It's like, Canada's gone crime high now without guns. So, in the USA they say guns kill people. Well, it's all part of manipulation to get rid of the firearms because of NATO, maybe. A new world order, I don't know. They want everybody vaccinated and want everybody to stop smoking and It goes on and on and on and on forever. So I gotta shut up and get going here. But I just like the simple life of old junk scrapyards. Um, I'd like to thank everybody who's believed in me and supported me, and that includes all these different agencies, NASA, CIA people. I got all, it goes on and on. Pentagon people. That's where I learned about brass balls. So cold it frees the brass balls off a brass monkey. Iron balls, I believe. Anyway, I'm just rambling and making myself look like an asshole, I think, or a lunatic. So my next big adventure is going actually to Scrapyard in Petaluma and get some more vintage stuff to rebuild this lab over there. And this is my little workbench area. It's a huge place, and I'm having a lot of fun. And okay, time for me to shut my mouth. You may want to check out the findings of Bob Greener, Martin Fleischmann Memorial Prize, or George Hathaway. Wow, that's not a lot said. Anyway, okay, guys.